What's going on, guys? It's Jake. We're back in for another video, and in this video I met up with my boy Zach. We've been friends for a very long time, known him forever. He has a lot of prior experience welding airplanes in the Air Force, actually, so very experienced welder. We met up to get this intercooler piping done, so we're gonna jump right into it. But before we do, I wanted to make sure you guys know about the 2,000 subscriber giveaway. So we're approaching 2,000 subscribers. All you have to do to enter is not the last video, but the video before that. You go comment, like, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and that'll enter you in the giveaway. And we got some cool stuff we're giving away, so you won't want to miss out on that. But let's go ahead and get right into the video. So I'm watching real time as you guys are. Zach is going ahead and sanding the edge of the 90-degree fitting that we use because it's cast, and sometimes you might have to mess with cast to get it to weld exactly right. But right here he was having a little bit of trouble with the welder, so we couldn't get it to arc at first, which he ended up getting it to arc. And then here he's using a torch to heat up the thicker portion of metal, because the torch, obviously you want both ends to be the same temperature, so he wanted to heat up the thicker end to help it come up to temp a little bit to the same temp as the smaller one would be. So here he's just putting a tack on the 90. All right, so Zach went ahead and tacked on this tight 90-degree bend that Vibrant offers, and it's tacked on the bottom side. You guys can't see it, but that's kind of how it's looking right now. We had it on and off the car, and it looks pretty good where it was sitting. So it comes out right about here, and now we're gonna make a straight piece into our 800Hp clamp. So kind of mocking it up now, taking a look at it, but we'll fill you guys in as we get going. All right, guys, so what's going on right now is we have the 18-inch long 2.5-inch pipe here welded to the housing of the turbo using that tight 90 there, and we're gonna put a Vibrant HD clamp right about here in the pipe, so that way we'll be able to quick disconnect it at any point there before the intercooler. So that's what we're working on now. I'll fill you guys in once we got that clamp in there, so stay tuned. So we were just taking a look at the 2.5-inch HD clamp, and one of the really nice things about this clamp is it has that little ledge there. So when you put it on this 2.5-inch pipe, it just sits on that ledge, and that way we won't have to hold it while we're welding it. It just sits on there, you tack it right up, good to go. Let's go, thanks Vibrant. All right, guys, so you can see we made a decent amount of progress. We're having a little bit of a problem with the filler rod, and it's hard to get these tacks in place, so we might end up doing a little bit more on another day. But what we got going on is a little straight piece coming out of here, a little Vibrant clamp action right here. We cut about, I guess that's probably around a 30-degree bend in it to get it over to this spot where it goes down through the body, and that is just a 2 7/8 hole right there that I drilled with a hole saw, and we welded a 90 to that, which we also took out of a 180. So it's coming down here now. What we got going on is a transition here, because the end of our intercooler pipe is 3-inch. So we want to make it 3-inch before we get to the intercooler pipe, just that way it's a great place that the weld can really tack onto pretty well. So we're gonna have this 3-inch pipe here. We kind of decided we need to cut a little bit of area off the end of this intercooler pipe. So we're gonna do that now, and yeah, pretty happy with the progress we've been making. It's just a little bit of a struggle here trying to get things exactly perfect. So we've been figuring it out though. Shout out to Zach coming through. Everybody go follow his channel. I'll put it up on the screen right now. Just starting out, but you gotta start somewhere. So love to see it. Let's go. All right guys, so here's where we're gonna wrap it up for today, but I'm gonna let this video carry over into the next day that Zach works on the car. But we have the whole hot side of the turbo pipe done. So as you guys can see, we got the Vibrant 90 right there, cast aluminum straight to a little straight piece where our clamp is located. And we got a little 30-degree bend there, 90-degree bend, hole saw that I drilled through the body there, down to our Vibrant clamp that is still a 2.5-inch clamp, into our transition here, which is a 2.5 to 3-inch, and then that goes right to the front of the intercooler. So everything's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with this pipe. It's looking sick, so I can't wait to get it all powder coated and see how it looks. But I'll catch up with you guys when we start to work on the charge pipe, so stay tuned. All right guys, so it is day number 2 working on the custom intercooler piping. So what we got going on right now, Zach is working on the throttle body connection, because we're going to start from the throttle body and go down to the outlet side of the intercooler. So he went ahead and cut this little lip off here. Right here, this was welded on to the throttle body here. So in order to get enough clearance, we went ahead and chopped that off, and you can see what we're working with here. It's a tight radius 90 that Vibrant offers. So it's getting us right on the money. We got a little bit of gap here, but we're doing the best we can do. So that's gonna come right across there. Then maybe like 245s to get us down to the bottom here, where we have another 90 coming off our intercooler. And we're probably gonna put a V-band connection like right before it enters the engine bay. So then that way I can still get the engine bay piping powder coated, and I won't have to worry about the bottom pipe being powder coated. That's going to be connected to the turbo, like hard welded. So that's what we're looking at right now. It's actually a week later from when we recorded the beginning of the video. Zach went home and finish welded all of the other stuff. So that stuff looks good, and we just have it kind of sitting on there right now for test purposes, because we are going to be building the intake tube here soon after we get done with the cold side of the turbo system. So yeah, stay tuned. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to drop a like, hit that subscribe button. Gonna be putting all of Zach's channel info in the description, because he's just starting out. So want to get him some subscribers, go over there and subscribe to his channel. Posting a lot of cool stuff about his autocross and neon SRT. So yeah, go like, subscribe some of his stuff, and we'll catch up with you guys when we get going a little further here. Stay tuned. Also, totally forgot to mention that we ended up buying a new radiator for the car, and also new fans. So what we have here is the Koyo Rad and the Mishimoto fans that are specifically for an STI. So it's going to take a little bit of retrofitting to get the fan fit on the radiator, but I'll show you why we went with a different radiator and the different fans. So here's the old setup, and I'm not sure if you guys can tell by the video, but what we have here is a Mishimoto. I think they might call it like a 3-core or whatever it is, but you can see the top of the radiator is a lot more thick, which puts the fan a lot closer to this stuff right here. So the Koyo Rad mics at around 1.9 inches, I believe, and then that's this distance right here, between my fingers. And then the Mishimoto mics around 2 and a little over 1/4. So we're saving, I think it might be closer to 1/2 inch actually. I'm not quite sure, I forget what the mic'd, but I went ahead and went with a Koyo Rad to save us some room here and the different fans, because also the top of this radiator looks pretty busted. So went ahead, got the Koyo Rad, Mishimoto fans. We're gonna be retrofitting the fans onto the radiator, and we'll probably show you guys a little bit of that too. But yeah, just wanted to fill you in on that. We'll get this piping done and see what we can work with, so stay tuned. All right guys, so a little update here. Zach went ahead and tack welded the 90 on the throttle body here. So I also went ahead and got rid of all the spot welds that hold on the battery tray. So this is where the battery tray would originally go. If some of you guys are familiar with the build, you know that the battery is actually in the back of the car now and has been for a while. So the reason why I wanted to get rid of this, just clean up this area of the engine bay. And also we might have to cut a little bit more area out here because we do want to make this piping as short as possible. And we were looking at the headlight clearance, and we do have a little bit of a clearance issue. So we're gonna have to bring our 45 a little bit closer to the first pipe here, so that way get around the headlight issue here. I'll show you guys more when I get the headlight up here, because Zach went ahead and is cutting a little bit more off of a 45. So if you see it, that is the shorter leg that we cut off, and that's the longer leg. And that is so we can get the bend a little bit closer. And you guys will see when we put the headlight in, there's a little plug that comes out here that we're gonna have to clear. So that's how it's looking right now, making our way down. So yeah, we'll fill you guys in as we get going. Let's go. So quick little update. Like I said, we got the 90 welded onto the throttle body. Got our nice 45 coming off there. Zach just went ahead and put a couple tacks on there. There's also a tack on the bottom so it doesn't break. And now what we're gonna do is go ahead and tack up the second 45 that will take us down to the intercooler. So Zach's gonna knock that out. We'll get some footage for you of that, and then we'll try to work on the bottom there, getting it connected. So I think it's coming out sick though. It looks amazing. So looking down here at the intercooler, we are working on getting our clamp in position here. So it's gonna go right here. So that way I can take the pipe out that is in the engine bay, and I'll have this pipe powder coated. But right now, these two don't quite line up. If you look how I'm holding it, you see we have a little bit too far out of our 90 there. Our 90's putting us a little too far out for that pipe. So what we're gonna do is cut back the intercooler just slightly, just to get our angle a little better. And then we'll have that welded straight to the intercooler and have our V-band clamp right in between. So we'll get that done. We'll keep you guys up to date. Stay tuned. All right guys, so we have made huge progress since the last time we filled you guys in, but take a look at this. We got our 90 coming off the throttle body over to a 45. The next 45 is right where it enters the fender well area, I guess you'd call it. And then we have our one vibrant clamp here. Zach went ahead and welded all this stuff out. So we're pretty much done, about 90%. And the only other things we have to do are weld in. We actually located our blow-off valve here. So we got to weld in the blow-off valve flange and then weld out this final thing right here by the throttle body that's just tacked on. But got our speed density port right here. So that will come up, plug right in there. Looking good. Like I said earlier in the video, these brackets for the fan shroud are gonna be gone. So we won't have to worry about that. That's for like a stock coolant overflow tank, something like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with how all this came out. Now I can't wait to get it all powder coated, and we'll see, it's gonna look dope. But next time Zach is by, he's gonna work with me on the intake piping, but pretty much everything else is done. So very happy with how it came out. If you guys like the video, be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button.